how to make organic, all-natural deodorant for under $1? Stay tuned to find out how. Hello everyone, my name is Misty Nicole from theladypreferstosave.com and welcome to my channel. Today I am bringing you a much requested video, and that is my recipe for all-natural organic deodorant and antiperspirant. My journey to finding a more natural deodorant source began after reading a 2015 Centers for Disease Control study that stated that aluminum, a common ingredient in many over-the-counter deodorants, increases your risk for breast cancer if you're a woman, as well as increasing your chance of developing Alzheimer's later in age. Because I have an instance of both of these illnesses in my family, I initially sought out to provide myself and my family with a more alternative use of deodorant. At which time I started using Tom's of Maine deodorant, but even that wasn't a long-term solution, as I came to find out that the ingredients included propylene, which is known as a common skin irritant. It can also lead to kidney and liver ailments, particularly in children and the elderly, so this is definitely something that I wanted to stay away from. Also, something of consideration is Tom's, Schmidt's, and a lot of other natural deodorants, including crystals, have a very high price point, usually averaging around $7 to $9 for a 2 to 3 ounce tube of product. I find that it's much easier for me to be able to make my own deodorant, and I am able to make it for around 75 to 80 cents per container that lasts me twice a year. So it's around $1.50 to $1.75 a year for me to keep all natural organic deodorant at home, which is absolutely awesome and very, very affordable for me. Not only is it better for my health and my skin, but I also find it to be more effective too. And with that said, I want to go ahead and jump right into the recipe.
To make this deodorant, you will need 2 ounces of baking soda, 2 ounces of non-GMO cornstarch, 2 ounces of organic cocoa butter, 2 ounces of organic expeller pressed extra virgin coconut oil, and 4 100 IUs of vitamin E oil and essential oil of choice. I use 15 to 20 drops of bergamot, tea tree, and rosemary combined, about 5 or 6 drops of each. I also use a glass 3-quart Pyrex dish and a dedicated rubber spatula to mix everything up. I started with my coconut oil that I rendered in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And to that I added my cocoa butter that was rendered. Now keep in mind it is going to render at a higher temperature, and so be careful in pouring yours. I actually spilled a little bit of my cocoa butter, which is fine because cocoa butter is actually really good for wood furniture. Once you get the 2 in your bowl, make sure that you give it a stir to incorporate your oils before you add your solids into your blend. And if you have any small pieces like I did, the floaters will melt if you just give them a little bit of a stir. It should be fine. I like to stir it for about a minute, and then to that we will start adding our solid dry ingredients, starting with our baking soda, making sure to thoroughly incorporate it into the oils. And as you are incorporating it, you'll notice that it starts to look somewhat between, say, a pancake batter and clarified butter, and that's kind of the look that you're going for, and that because of the cocoa butter, it's going to smell amazing. To that, you will want to add in your cornstarch as well, and continue to stir that until it is thoroughly blended and has a yellow consistency, and it will continue to smell absolutely amazing as you are making this. To that, you will want to put in your vitamin E. Now do keep in mind that I forgot to pierce my gel caps this morning, so I had a little bit of a difficulty, but if you pre-pierce them, it will be no problem in opening them up. And then you can, of course, compost the empty gel sacks, or if you are making a face mask, you can just pop those open, add them into it, and just use them up that way. Either way, they're not really going to waste. And once you put your vitamin E in, you will then want to give it another little bit of a stir. And of course, you will want to also put in your essential oils. Again, I used about 5 to 6 drops of each one. And a quick side note about the vitamin E oil, not only is it absolutely moisturizing, it's also a preservative to keep the blend shelf stable. And because of the vitamin E oil, you can omit having to add any wax or parabens to your blend, and it will make it not only shelf stable, but a little bit safer for your family to use. And again, I like to put in my essential oils. I really put in tea tree because it is antifungal and microbial. I also like to put in rosemary for the same reason. I sometimes will put in citrus or lavender, but again, you can just put in 5 to 7 drops of whatever your favorite oils are, or a combination of them depending on what person in your family likes them. And when you are ready to jar, I again like to use the little half-pint mason jars. You can see an empty one on the right just for a comparison. And this blend will make 1 jar. So if you are making several batches, you will of course need to double or triple up your recipe. But for me to make this 1 jar that lasts me about 6 months, it cost me around 73 cents. So you can see it is quite a bit cheaper than commercial blends. I just remove my funnel and go ahead and clean up the edge. Now you will want to keep this in the refrigerator in warmer months because it will need time to solidify and to stay solid. Or if you don't mind it being a little bit runny, then you can just go ahead and leave it out and move it to the coldest part of your house. But that is how you do it. Add a lid and you're done with making your homemade organic deodorant.
Everyone, that's how super simple it is to make your own deodorant at home. A few things to keep in mind when making your blend. Because it does contain coconut oil, anything above 72 degrees room temperature that contains coconut oil will become liquefied. You will need to remedy this by either keeping it in a cooler climate, such as a medicine cabinet or in the cooler room of your house, or in my case, I like to keep it in the refrigerator. Another tip, if you're new to using natural deodorants, I highly recommend purchasing bentonite clay and giving yourself a twice-a-month treatment by mixing it with half as much water as you put clay, making a paste and putting it on your underarms for 20 minutes until dry, and then just washing off in the shower. This will help detoxify your armpits and get rid of any residuals that you may have left over from products, because in case you did not know, each time you use conventional deodorant, you are actually plugging up your pores so that you're not sweating, and that actually is counterproductive to your body, especially your endocrine system, especially when it's warmer outside. So you definitely want to be able to have a healthier balance, especially for women, in reducing your risk of breast cancer. Also, something to consider is that each night, because it does contain baking soda, you definitely want to make sure that you're just washing yourself really well and giving your chance for your body to breathe a little bit at night. Something else to consider when doing this, if you have, and some people will, sensitivity to baking soda, you can substitute this out for equal amounts of arrowroot powder, which you can find on Amazon.com. I will go ahead and link both the bentonite clay, the essential oils, and the arrowroot powder in the description bar below for you to check out and see what I have used in the past. With that said, I hope that you will enjoy this blend. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about the recipe, or if you'd like to see more DIYs on the channel. I'd love it if you hit that little red subscribe button, as well as turn on notifications so that you don't miss upcoming meal plans, power hours, and several more product reviews and product demonstrations coming up in the next few weeks. And with that said, thank you again so much for watching. Be kind to yourself and to others, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching.